Tell me kiss by wire, maybe what's on fire. Sonic Mega Collection, the Sonic the Hedgehog compilation for the GameCube, and this time we're looking at Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Mega Drive. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, a 2D platformer released for the Mega Drive in 1992, just 1 year after the original Sonic the Hedgehog. This game brought a new character into the mix with miles per hour, a two-tailed fox based off the Japanese folklore the Kitsune, and is also my favorite character in the Sonic franchise. Now this game's considered one of the best Sonic games, and it's the second best selling Mega Drive game, only behind the first Sonic game. Now this game I've played many a times, but this time I'm going to keep a critical eye open as we have a look at Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Got a speed key? Sega! Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a 2D platformer developed and published by Sega for the Sega Mega Drive, the second game in the Sonic the Hedgehog series for the Mega Drive. This game was developed in America by the Sega Technical Institute, or STI, put Sonic STI joke here, by an American and Japanese team. The story of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is pretty much the same as the first. Dr. Ivor Robotnik is turning all the little animals into robots so he can have workers to build his ultimate weapon, the Death Egg. Dr. Robotnik has taken control of the factories, refineries and cities, but he doesn't have the 7 Chaos Emeralds he needs to power the Death Egg. The Chaos Emeralds are buried somewhere on the island, and only one tough dude with spiky hair has the speed to find them first. But again, I don't remember being asked to do this, so it was probably meant to say there is only one tough dude with spiky hair and another dude with quite striking hair but is probably busy doing something really manly like, tractoring? But this time round you're joined by Miles Tails Prower, a two-tailed fox that can fly, but not in this game. Sonic and Tails have the same moveset as Sonic did in the first Sonic game, along with a new move called the Super Dash Attack, but I'm just going to call it the Spin Dash. You crouch down with the D-pad and push the jump button to rev up speed, then release the D-pad to dash off. This makes going round loops or up inclines easier to reach different areas. Again, you collect rings as your health. Getting hit will make you lose your rings, and getting hit with no rings will make you lose a life. And all the same items return in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, all in video monitors. There are 11 zones in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, almost double the amount than in the first Sonic game. Emerald Hill Zone, a tropical bayside resort with palm trees. Chemical Plant Zone, a factory with a maze of pipes and toxic liquid. Aquatic Ruin Zone, a beautiful forest with a sunken lake. Casino Night Zone, a sparkling neon casino which has become a staple in Sonic games. Hilltop Zone, a volcano with underground tunnels. Mystic Cave Zone, a cave full of flickering lights and glowworms. Oil Ocean Zone, an oil refinery that's turned the ocean black. Metropolis Zone, Robotnik's capital city full of pounding pistons and rolling gears. Sky Chase Zone, an auto-scrolling level in the sky. Wing Fortress Zone, Robotnik's flying battleship. And Death Egg Zone, Robotnik's ultimate weapon. But each zone only has 2 acts instead of 3, except for Metropolis Zone, which does have 3, and Sky Chase Zone and Wing Fortress Zone, which only have 1 act, and Death Egg Zone, which is the final boss battle. At the end of the second act of each zone, third of the Metropolis Zone, you face off against Robotnik and one of his machines. They even fixed the water zone. Aquatic Ruin is the water level, but you aren't forced to go in the water. If you stick to the top of the zone, you don't have to go in the water at all and can speed right through each act. In fact, you can speed through most of these zones. They improved on everything from the previous Sonic game on the Mega Drive, taking away parts that slow you down like floating blocks. Instead, they replaced them with things where you have to go fast like rising water or lava. All of these zones are greatly designed and a joy to play. Well, that's except for Metropolis Zone. Metropolis Zone is by far the worst zone in the game. Dare I say it's pants? And to make it worse, it has 3 acts instead of 2. It has the worst enemies which are placed in the worst positions and just breaks the speed of the game. But the thing is, changing the pace of the game doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just Metropolis Zone doesn't do it right. Sky Chase Zone, the following zone, changes the pace and does it well. Your character stands on top of Sonic's plane, the tornado, and the level auto-scrolls where you attack flying turtles on turtles, and whatever these are. This level also works at slowing the pace of the game by only having the 1 act. Another zone that I didn't really like is the Wing Fortress Zone. It's just too easy to fall to your death in this zone. There is even a part where you use a speed boost to get over a gap, but it doesn't work. I died loads here and that's just not cool. But apart from those criticisms, this game is pretty solid. It looks better, sounds better, and plays better than the first game. And the addition of Tails adds more to the game. You can play as Sonic alone or Tails alone, or 2 people can play at once, one controlling Sonic and the other controlling Tails. Tails doesn't lose rings or any lives when playing 2-player, so it really helps when it comes to the bosses, but the game only follows Sonic and Tails can get left behind. And there's also a 2-player racing mode, but it's not that exciting. After boosting through to the Death Egg Zone, you face off against Dr. Robotnik, where you first face against Mecha Sonic, a robot version of Sonic that spins and speeds at you. After hitting Mecha Sonic enough times, Dr. Robotnik will run to his Death Egg robot, the final boss of the game. This boss is sort of a disappointment. It just takes so long. You wait until he flies into the air, comes back down, shoots his arms, flies to the air again, comes back down, then walks towards you slowly, stops, until you can hit him. If you try and attack him early, most of the time you will die. After you hit him 12 times, the Death Egg robot breaks and the Death Egg starts to explode, but you escape just in time before it explodes. If you finish the game with Sonic, you will get a little slideshow of all the animals and Tails seeing the Death Egg explode, and then Tails getting into the tornado to go catch Sonic. He finds him falling from space and catches him on top of the tornado, and then jumps out towards the player, just like in Sonic 1. But if you finish the game with Tails, he just escapes the Death Egg and falls from the sky until Sonic decides to come in the tornado. What, Tails isn't good enough for a slideshow? But then he jumps towards the player just like Sonic did. But there is another ending if you finish the game with all the Chaos Emeralds. Like the first game, you collect the Chaos Emeralds, but there are 7 now instead of 6. You get them through special stages. You can gain access to the special stages by collecting 50 rings and passing a checkpoint, where a ring of stars will appear above the checkpoint. Jumping into the ring will take you to the special stage. These are a lot better than the special stages in Sonic 1. You run down a 3D tube collecting rings and avoiding spiky bombs. I found these stages enjoyable, but it does take some memorization to get through some of the later stages. After collecting all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you can turn into Super Sonic. After collecting 50 rings and jumping, you will turn into Super Sonic. Sonic turns yellow and is faster and invincible, but your rings start to go down each second you are Super Sonic, so you gotta keep collecting rings to stay in this form. After defeating the Death Egg robot with all 7 Chaos Emeralds, Tails will find Super Sonic and they will fly together. But if Tails gets all 7 Chaos Emeralds, nothing happens. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Mega Drive improves on everything from the first Sonic game. It looks better, it sounds better, and the overall game is just a delight. The Spin Dash is a great addition to Sonic's moveset, and the introduction of Tails and Super Sonic gives this game real replay value. Sure, Metropolis Zone sucks, but that doesn't stop it from being one of the best games on the Mega Drive. Well, I gotta go make a delicious apple crumble with salted caramel ice cream and peach sorbet with a hint of cinnamon. Recipe in the description, but I gotta go hunting for some elk with nothing but my abs. I guess that's why they call me Captain Balls.